The Soo Greyhounds have made their decision when it comes to putting in a bid for the 2027 Memorial Cup. And in a statement this morning from President Tim Lukenda, they've decided to not go ahead with the bidding process, which I think for many Soo Greyhound fans, a little disappointed by today's decision after it was told, last week that a bid was under consideration, considering the history of this organization and this team putting in bids in both 2020 and 2024. But in the statement from Lukenda, I'll just mention or I'll read a portion of it. He says, after careful consideration, the organization has decided not to submit a formal bid to host the 2027 Memorial Cup. And this decision was made following a review of the factors necessary to stage an event of this magnitude, including the resources required, the current state of the local economy in an environment of tariff uncertainty, and the competitive landscape among other potential communities looking to host this event. So it comes down to the fact that there are already two OHL organizations that have come out and said they plan to bid for the 2027 Memorial Cup. We know that the Kitchener Rangers are one team and the Guelph Storm are the other. And the Soo Greyhounds have decided that with the way the economic climate is right now, they've decided they're going to wait and look at the future as a potential, as another time to host the Memorial Cup. Like I said in the video last week about the Soo Greyhounds fan base, they're one of the most passionate group of junior hockey fans in the country. And it's been a long wait since they last hosted the Memorial Cup. You have to go back to 1993 when they were still playing out Assume Memorial Gardens. They won that Memorial Cup on home ice. And to this day, that's still the only Memorial Cup in Soo Greyhounds franchise history. So it's a bit of a blow for Greyhound fans, but when you consider the teams that they're going up against, the Kitchener Rangers, they're going to be putting in a very strong bid. They look to have a very competitive team going into 2027. The Guelph Storm, they already have the backing of Guelph City Council. So we already know that the Storm have the backing financially. They've been committed, I believe, up to $600,000 for a potential bid. So it's a cost when it comes to bidding, and then another cost when you are actually named the host of this national tournament. So the Greyhounds deciding to hit the brakes when it comes to their bid right now. But I do strongly believe that the Soo Greyhounds are an organization that should be considered for a future Memorial Cup. It'd be really great to see different teams hosting this national event. We saw how successful it was in Saginaw. The Spirit in 2024 did an amazing job as the first OHL US-based team to host the tournament. So I believe that Sault Ste. Marie in the future, much like even Oshawa, the Generals are another team that have put in bids in the past and have fallen short. The Barrie Colts, another organization that's fallen short in their bid attempts. I'm also thinking like the Niagara Ice Dogs. They should be able to host Kingston, maybe even Sarnia. We've heard their ownership group saying that they would like to put in a bid in the future. And the Erie Otters. I love the Erie Insurance Arena. So there's a lot of good candidates in the Ontario Hockey League, but it comes down to more than just the bidding. It comes down to the guarantee when it comes to profits for tournaments such as this. That's why many are starting to feel like this is for the teams that have the large fan bases or the larger venues to host the Memorial Cup. Look at London. They've held two Memorial Cups since 2005. Kitchener has already hosted a Memorial Cup in 2008. It's been a while since they hosted, so it would make sense to maybe go back to the odd. Guelph, they've hosted in 2002, but when you look at Sault Ste. Marie, they have not yet hosted in the GFL Memorial Gardens. You have to go back to 1993, and that's when they used to have the Super Series to decide who would host the Memorial Cup. I would prefer if they went back to that. However, I know with just the way costs are and how much value is brought in for the local economy for an event such as this, and then you need all the hotel room space. I understand why they don't do the Super Series like they used to decide who would host the Memorial Cup, because you also need time to plan the tournament. So, but at this point, it's kind of tough news. But for the Soo Greyhounds, they've decided they will not be putting in a bid for the 2027 Memorial Cup. They're going to wait for a later date when the team is in a competitive position and the local economy would be able to support it, because you do need business support. You need local contributors and whatnot. So the Greyhounds deciding at this time they're going to wait it out. So that's the news of the day coming out of Sault Ste. Marie. Kind of a bummer story. I was kind of rooting for the Greyhounds to maybe have a chance to host the Memorial Cup, but maybe we'll cover that story in the future here on the channel. Also to note, I did start the season preview videos for all 20 teams in the Ontario Hockey League, and under the post section of the channel, I have the vote up for every team, as I want to see your say. What position do you feel teams are going to finish at the end of the 2025-26 season? Even before I did my first preview video, I'm surprised to see how many people have already voted. So it's on the channel right now. It's live for all 20 teams. I've already done the Flint Firebirds preview video, but you can still vote for all the other teams that have not yet been featured yet on the season preview. So again, thank you very much for your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.